Just another day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. Let's get into some praise right here. Here's Vashawn Mitchell. Right here. Nobody greater. Oh, man. 3 minutes after the hour, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Nobody greater than you. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with this pandemic, and I know a lot of stuff going on with all of the protests and the Trump administration, but just understand, I don't care what nobody think. It might seem bad. It might seem like the world coming to an end or whatever, but just understand that God is in control. And, you know, God sit high and he look low. And that gives us a lot of comfort this morning because God is still king. He is still king. He make the sun come up in the morning and make it set in the evening and turn day to night and night to day. And that's why we thank him and that's why we praise him every single morning on this show. He is so worthy to be praised. I'm talking about, man, if you woke up in your right mind, we have so much to be thankful for. If you woke up and was able to walk, if you woke up, if you have a roof over your head, might not have all the food you want, might not be where you want to be, but thank God you ain't where you used to be. God is good. And remember, everything that you're going through is only a test. It's only a test. Man, if he bring you to it, he'll bring you through it. What a awesome and wonderful God we serve. And that's why I'm proud to wake up. As long as he put breath in my body, I will wake up and give him praise every single morning. And that's what we've been doing since the beginning of the Rickey Smiley Morning Show 15 years ago. We just honor and praise God and thank him for his blessing. We don't just thank him for a house and a car. We thank him for warm water. We thank him for soap. We thank him for a rag. We thank him for basic necessities that we take for granted. We just thank him for food to eat. We thank him for socks to put on. We thank him for the summer. We thank him for the fall, the winter, the spring. We thank him for heat, hot water, cold water, everything. We thank him for every single little thing. We thank him for health and strength more than anything. And even if you're not at your healthiest, even if you're going through depression, no matter what it is, he is just knowing that he is still controlling. I just thank God that man did not make me, because man will get so low down, he won't even let the sun shine on your back. He'll get mad at you. But God, just with his grace and his mercy, no matter how we mess up, no matter how bad we can get and entitled we can become sometimes, he forgives us and he loves us. And hey, for those of y'all that don't have a mother, he will be a mother for you. He'll be a father to the fatherless, a lawyer in a courtroom, a doctor in a sick room. He is so worthy to be praised. Nobody greater. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Front page coming up next. 6 minutes after the hour. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. 11 minutes after the hour. Y'all, the front page news is being brought to you by America's Best. That's right. Your health is our priority in America's Best. And our contacts and eyeglasses stores are now open to safely serve. That's right. To safely serve your vision needs. And it's not just a better deal. It's America's Best. Make sure y'all stop by. Eva, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone, and happy Wash Up Wednesday. I'm Eva Marcel here with a check on your headline news. So protests over George Floyd's death and against police brutality continued again yesterday in cities across the country. The state of Minnesota has opened a civil rights investigation of the Minneapolis Police Department. Very good. Meanwhile, the mother of George Floyd's a 6-year-old daughter spoke to CNN yesterday, saying that she wanted to see justice. Here's what she said.
At the end of the day, they get to go home and be with their families. Gianna does not have a father. He would never see her grow up, graduate. He would never walk her down the aisle.
Oh, that is absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking and sad, you know, and that's a real reality that girl, the baby's not going to grow up without a father. He was a loving father to his daughter, and to have his life just taken away. And they are so privileged. They get to go home and be with their families. Mm-hmm. And 3 of them still have not been arrested, which they will be. They will be. Charges are going to be brought or whatever. And I just hope that the civil rights. What did you say there was? A civil rights?
As a civil rights investigation.
Yes.
Which is good because they don't usually open those kind of investigations.
They need to do one on all of them. They need to do one in Ferguson. They need to do one one in Georgia. They need to do one on most of those police departments.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, we are excited about that. Also in news, former Vice President Joe Biden gave a speech in Philadelphia on the national crisis and said Floyd's death is a wake-up call for our nation. Biden is expected to attend Floyd's funeral in Houston on June 9th. In other news, a severe tropical storm is headed towards our people along the Gulf Coast of Florida, so you guys get ready. And some good news on the coronavirus, an Army researcher says a vaccine may be available in some parts of the U.S. by the end of the year. Fingers crossed, because we will be prepared for that second wave. All right, that was a quick look at your headline news. For more on what's trending, please log on to the Rickey Smiley Morningshow.com. Rock T, what's the latest in sports?
Well, let's start off with LeBron James, man. He's calling out all the ridiculous people that's using these chaotic riots for content to help grow their social media followers. Specifically, the rioters and the looters have wreaked havoc on the streets, in the shops and stores in Los Angeles. 2 women showed up to take pictures with the damaged, in front of the damaged stores. They faked using a power tool on the storefront and then hopped in their cars and drove off. Like, crazy, man. So a lot of this is going on, man. And despite nearly a full week of chaos, looting, and vandalism in L.A., one thing that has remained untouched is the large street art murals dedicated to remembering Kobe Bryant and Gigi Bryant. If you look at some of the images, you know, there's spray paint graffiti everywhere, but every time you get to something that has Kobe or Gigi on it, it's untouched. So respect right there. Last but not least, man, I had a huge proud daddy moment yesterday. My daughter Harmony graduated high school, top 8% of her class with magna cum laude on honors. She was part of the debate team, National Honor Society, Key Club, DECA, and she's headed to Harvard to further her education and also to play basketball. Daddy was choked up yesterday during the ceremony despite everything that was going on, man. I'm just so proud because, you know, I have kind of the best of both worlds. My oldest daughter, Lyric, is at one of our illustrious HBCUs at Delaware State now. Harmony is attending an Ivy League school at Harvard, man. So, man, it was a beautiful thing, man. So, hey, Rick, thank you. Thank you, man. She got your little surprise yesterday, man. She busted out in tears. So thank you for that, my brother.
I hope you did your videotape it.
Y'all are
Come on, man.
Hey, y'all know, you know how I am, man. She love her Uncle Ricky, and I love her so much and so proud of her, man. And she has worked really hard. And if you ain't never seen nobody on that court, man, and she just sweet, wonderful, awesome personality, and I just absolutely love her. So I'm taking her on vacation with me this summer. You and Krista can't go, but she going.
It's all good, dog. You can have it. It's all good. Gary with the T, what you got there, player?
All right, y'all. She said, I know y'all mad. She did because I'm mad too, honey. Who those words came from? Even your co-host, honey, co-worker, at least I say Miss Tanya Sam, y'all, from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is very angry and hurt. And
Tanya?
Yeah, Miss Tanya, yeah. You know, someone, they just banished her, broken her club, her lounge when they were doing all the looting and stuff recently. They just tore it up, and she's sad and crying about it. And some people saying, y'all Atlanta people are just too materialistic, saying that y'all just crying behind that, but what about what's going on with the people? But she's sad, and she said as well about what's happening with the people, but she's also sad because, you know, they looted her club, her restaurant, or whatever. She said she built this place for the people, for us, and people are just tearing it down. Which when people out there, you know, protesting and looting or whatever, unless you put a sign on your place saying black owned or whatever, I mean, it's going to get looted, and that's what's happening.
They're going to assume that it's not black owned, especially when you're in an affluent part of town. And it's one of those situations where it's really sad because you don't want anyone's stuff to get vandalized and broken. But at the same token, this is not all to be blamed on the protests of black people. There are a lot of other colored people out there doing the looting and the rioting part of things.
Oh yeah, we see that on the news, honey. So it's sad. But you know, then she said too, because, you know, people say, well, you got insurance. She said it's just not about insurance. As well, you know, people are letting you know if your place being looted or whatever, but sure you have insurance on it or whatever. So what are you crying about? But you know, she said, you know, she said she built it for us. So you know, we're gonna follow it. Hopefully everything goes well, and you know, people, you know, eventually calm down. So, but right now, it is what it is. All right, the color today, honey is one of my favorite colors. My color today, y'all, is grape compote. On the high end, you say grape compote, and on the low, you say beautiful purple. That's your color for today. Brad, what's happening with Tyler Perry?
Man, Tyler Perry got something to say, and he making something happen about it. Coming up in the hot spot, it's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, 29 minutes after the hour, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Brad got your hot spot. Good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brad Tat, and this is the hot spot where we bring you music, movies, and more. And Ricky, don't say nothing about how I sound because I slept with the ceiling fan on by accident, and my grandmama told me not to never do that because you be
Sound like
stopped
Lil
up.
Daryl. Lil Daryl.
You want me to try to be Lil Daryl? You kind of showed me how to do it a little bit.
No, you got no, don't do it. Don't
He'll
do
be
it.
saying milk and cookies. No, that's what's his name. What's his
Bernie
name?
Mac.
Bernie Mac. Stir it like coffee. All right, y'all, let's get into the hot spot. Tyler Perry took to social media to express outrage over the murder of George Floyd and talk about actions that he plans to take in order to stop police brutality. He wrote, "I spent the past few days with an extremely heavy heart, having very high level conversations with people who don't look like me, people who may not believe what I believe, and people who don't know what it's like to be black in America, but were willing to listen." He said, "White people who are Republicans and Democrats with different opinions, different views, and different ideas and strategies on how to stop this. White people with the power have to go white people with the power to have this go either way. It takes all of us as black people to do our part. But think about this, please. We're only 12 to 14% of the U.S. population. With a number like that, we need allies that don't look like us. Allies who are not in the 12 to 14%, but we want to be in the number that help us. There is power in talking to the other side. There is power in being heard." And I absolutely agree with him. What y'all think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've been saying from the beginning, that white silence is a problem. It's a real problem. And then when you sit here and you're in your own little perfect world, in your perfect little bubble, and they got this little website called "Make Them Famous" on when white racists out saying really racist stuff, and they just share it on social media. And and a lot of white people have been speaking out, though. But white silence is a real problem.
Absolutely.
Back to my point. Yeah.
Okay, y'all, well, moving on. KTLA anchor Doug Koch has apologized to Cardi B for saying that she was trying to incite violence during the death of George Floyd in the protest. In a recent video, Cardi said, "Seeing people looting and going extremely outraged, it makes me feel like, yes, finally, they're going to hear us now." And then Koch later apologized because he said, "I apologize to I'm Cardi B if I took her words out of context. I respect her for using her platform to connect with people during these difficult times, and it was wrong of me to not let her voice be heard." So after Cardi heard what he said, she responded, "KTLA, suck my joint. And I'm not promoting violence. I'm promoting the protest." She said, "Why your no-lip squarehead having ass ain't put the part in where I said vote, you cottage cheese breath having, why don't you post how conservative Christian..." Why don't you post how a conservative Christian Trump supporter posts my address and encourage people to loot my home, which, by the way, he going to jail. He going to jail. All right, y'all, last but not least, Killer Mike hosted a virtual meeting to highlight the ways we are working to address systematic racism, and TMZ live streamed the Amen. Some of the talk included points about striving to end police brutality, the importance of voting out politicians who don't support the cause, and supporting black businesses. Speaker included Gary Davis and LaTanya Gates, Judith Brown Deannis of the Advancement Project National Office, and Pastor Michael McBride of Black ACPAC, and more. That is awesome. So let's get together. Let's keep getting together. I can't wait for a change to come, because Lord have mercy, we know it's past time. All right, y'all, to get caught up on those stories and more, you can go to RickeySmileyMorningShow.com. I'm your girl, Brad Tat. Coming up next, we got Rock T's HBC, you know. And in the meantime, in between time, hit us up for them wake-up calls. That's 1-866-9-RICKEY. 1-866-9-RICKEY. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show, y'all.
HBC, you know.
Let's get it. Rock T up in the building. You already know what time it is. We can't go any further before we recognize our phenomenal HBCUs. Oh, yes. You know, we're going to highlight and showcase our phenomenal heroes and sheroes that attended or currently attend our illustrious historically black colleges and universities. Let's head on down to Durham, North Carolina, to North Carolina Central University, established in 1910, home of the maroon and gray Mighty Eagles. Shout out to the NCCU Sound Machine Marching Band, featuring the Eclipse Dancers. Oh yeah! Y'all know I'm about to talk about one of y'all's own right about now. Author, preacher, and professor, Reverend William Barber II. Reverend Barber is at the top of the food chain when it comes to waging war on the criminalization or poverty. He helped resuscitate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Poor People's Campaign, which confronts the interlocking evils of systemic racism and poverty. Reverend William Barber is also a member of the National Board of the NAACP, which, by the way, he was awarded the Juanita Jackson Mitchell Esquire Award for Legal Activism. That's the highest award in the NAACP for legal redress or advocacy. We say it all the time. One of the life lessons of success is learn how to stand on the shoulders of giants. Well, Reverend William Barber II is a true giant in our community. If you didn't know, now you know. If you want me to highlight your favorite HBCU, hit me up on my social media platforms at Rock T Holla. Let's get it.
HBCU, love that segment, man. Gotta love that segment. All right, listen, man. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Dr. MJ Collier up next with your coronavirus update. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. 18 before the top of the hour. Yeah, we got the one and only Dr. MJ Collier with our COVID-19 updates, whatever. And I know that Dr. Collier, with all of the protests and everything that's going on, people have almost forgotten about that we still got a coronavirus pandemic out here. What's going on, or what's been the latest?
Good morning, Rickey Smiley and all the Rickey Smiley Morning Show listeners. We are now up to 1.87 million cases in the United States and 108,000 deaths. That is a death rate of 1,040 in the last 24 hours. 1,040 people have lost their life. So, Ricky, as these mass protests continue in large and small cities across the country, we have to be concerned that the chains of transmission now are going to be increased because of those gatherings. In Minnesota, the number of cases is already going up, even really before the protest started. So they already did not have it under control. The protests generally have had gatherings of thousands of people where standing 6 feet apart is impossible. So then they're also chanting and singing and shouting. And, of course, we know that spreads the virus particles and the droplets even further than the 6 feet guidelines that we've been given. So I'm going to give you 5 things you need to do if you're going to protest to try to keep yourself safe. Of course. And here we go, Ricky. Okay, 1, wear a mask or face covering, number 1. Maintaining at least 6 feet of distance between you and any one of your household. So you and your household group, y'all can stay close together, but trying to stay at least 6 feet from other people. That's going to be very difficult to do in a protest setting, but, people can do what they can do, unfortunately. Okay, so we want you to wear mask and face coverings. That's including goggles to protect your eyes. Carry hand sanitizer, something people have not thought about in a while. Take that hand sanitizer and disinfect your hands, rubbing it all over the palms on both hands, the back of your hands, and between your fingers and your fingertips, and then let it air dry. Don't wipe it off, and then that's going to give you great protection and get rid of germs. Okay, avoid touching your face, of course. So a lot of people, they're adjusting their mask continuously while they're because they're trying to scream and shout through the mask, and makes it difficult. They get a little short of breath. So be careful about touching your mouth, nose, and eyes in all areas where the virus can enter your system. Okay, now, don't eat. When you're walking in your protest march, eat before you go so you don't have to pull the mask down to ingest. And also try to be well hydrated before you go so that you don't have to drink anything. And more importantly, you don't have to use a public toilet. 1, it's very difficult to find a place to use it. And 2, that's going to be a bastion of infection when doing so. Okay, and again, stay home. If you feel sick, you're showing any symptoms, then you might infect other people or that you may have become infected. Then don't take that chance of exposing others to the virus. Take precautions when appropriate. Now, one thing that I also want to share, pepper sprays are oil-based. Okay, so if they spray it, the first reaction, the most normal reflex is to rub your eyes. Don't do that. One, it rubs it in more. So you should start blinking immediately to let your natural tears relieve it, or carry a bottle of saline. You can get saline in any place. Normal saline it won't hurt when you're washing it out, but it will help expedite getting the pepper spray or the mace out of your eyes, because it's all basically supposed to stick there, and it causes a lot of discomfort. And the first thing people want to do is start rubbing their eyes. If you have on the prototype eye goggles that we were talking about, though, your exposure to that would be minimal. So be careful out there. We are with you with the protest. We want to make sure that people are having their voices heard. We also want you to remember that the coronavirus pandemic is still real, is still out there, and that we need to make sure that people are protecting themselves while they're protesting peacefully. Peaceful protest.
Right. All right, Dr. Collier, real quick, 15 seconds, Dr. Collier, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Okay, you can reach me on all social media to Ask Dr. MJ. Remember, these are the opinions of Dr. MJ Collier, not the opinions of the radio station or the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. And remember, boost your immune system, Ricky. We got a new product now that called Lipo Immune. It has 3 things in it: zinc, liposomal vitamin C, and black elderberry, all in one.
Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, 3 minutes after the hour, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Gary has the tea and the clue today. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Wednesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Amanda Seales, and we all know, have come to love Amanda Seales from the talk show The Real. Well, Miss Seales she unsealed the deal. It's being reported, y'all, that Amanda Seales is leaving The Real. Now, they're saying y'all back in January.
What?
Yes, baby. She said she could not take it. She's too much of a real woman, honey, and she couldn't take it. But here's what she had to say.
My contract is up at The Real, and I did not renew it because it doesn't feel good to my soul to be at a place where I cannot speak to my people the way they need to be spoken to, and where the people who are speaking to me in disparaging ways are not being handled. I'm not in a space where I can, as a full black woman, have my voice, and my coworkers also have their voices, and where the people at the top are not respecting the necessity for black voices to be at the top too.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
that's
baby.
powerful.
Oh, yes, it's powerful. Miss Amanda, honey, and play, child. You know, a lot of people saying now, I guess a lot of them going to breathe a sigh of breath, honey, because especially Jenny Mai, honey, because they say Miss Jenny Mai and her didn't really see eye to eye. Because, you know, Jenny always was talking about Jeezy, and, you know, Miss Amanda being a black woman, and she wasn't feeling all that.
Well, the thing is that she is not the only black woman on that show. Lonnie Love is black.
But they say Lonnie Love look like she eat a pound of white folk stuff every morning. That's what somebody said.
Lonnie Love talk about projects every day on The Real. Lonnie is as regular as they come. That's everybody on TV.
But Miss Amanda was a different type of woman, though, honey. She was not playing with all the bulls. She said, like when they were doing one of those guys that was recently killed. She said she told the woman the man's name, and the woman said, I can't pronounce that name. She said, well, hell, the man's name, honey, you got about 7 syllables in yours. His is part of the English language, so how you can't pronounce it? So, you know, but it's just interesting. So they said, you know, with her and Tamar both being, you know, people that, you know, speak their mind or whatever, being very raw against the real people, the producers couldn't take them. So she said, and it's not all about money, she said. She said it's just not about money all the time, so she could go get a job anywhere. So we're going to follow Amanda.
Well, it looked like tension, Gary. We do watch the show. It looked like tension when we watch it, right?
Yes. So, you know, I mean, you just sit there and look at Miss Amanda. We'll be sitting there looking at them like, child, but, you know, who knows where Amanda's going to land. But congratulations and good luck to her in her future endeavors. All right, moving on in other celebrity news, y'all. Meghan and Harry, y'all, it's being reported that they recently hired, y'all, Tyler Perry's security team. Now, they're saying, y'all, when the news leaked about them living in Tyler Perry's Hollywood mansion, y'all, they're saying, y'all, that the LAPD have drones, and people are saying drones been flying all over their house. They say they can't even sleep at night because they've been having the drones flying all over them, whatever. So what Tyler Perry decided to do was give them his police force, you know, in so many words. So they hired...
Who?
Huh?
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know, they bought Tyler Perry's house in L.A. and had this big coming to L.A. party, so now they stalking him.
Well, yes, honey. So they're saying that Meghan and Harry hired Tyler Perry's security crew, honey, after dealing with, you know, the paparazzi just flying all around their houses and stuff with the drones and all that. It's amazing. Now, how they found out where them people live at? That's what I want to know.
Because people talk too much.
It had to be somebody in part of that crew or whatever, because, I mean, it was a secret. Nobody know. Hell, we didn't even know Tyler Perry owned the house.
Yeah, we did. We done party at Tyler Perry house in L.A. If you from L.A., you knew Tyler had a big old house in L.A.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
honey.
it's known.
Oh, well, now it's known that Harry and Meghan and these girls say they can't sleep. But it's amazing now Tyler Perry has like a police force or whatever to watch the house for them now. So congratulations, they'll be able to sleep at night or what have you now. But that's very interesting. But we're gonna keep they're not royal anymore, so I can't say the royal family. Since they're
Why they not royal?
They're not royal anymore because they withdrew from that. You remember after they decided to move to Beverly Hills and all that, honey, the queen said, we can't be putting
Oh, that's still royal, Gary. She is still our first black princess.
Well, to us she is, but to them she not. They say, girl, you're just
Yeah,
black.
Gary, don't be trying to take that away from her.
Okay, yes, it's too early.
I'm just telling you what the people did, boo.
Now,
Nobody care what the people say.
Y'all know the queen prejudice is hell. She
Okay.
Princess
She is,
Diana,
but we
she-
still royal.
She say, honey, you ain't raw, honey, on my paper, but you might be raw to them in Compton, honey, but you ain't raw here. So anyway, child,
Oh,
let's keep her
Gary.
lifted.
She will always be royal, darling. Don't do her like that.
Thank you, Brad.
All right. The color today, honey, is gonna always be the color. On the high end, you say, honey, grape capote, and on the low end, you say beautiful purple. That's your color for today, honey.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, the color is what now?
It's grape capote.
It's compost.
Okay.
It's compote, not compote.
You don't say take. You just say compost.
Ricky, we got all these damn English teachers on this show. It's ridiculous.
Let me get mad at you.
Trying to get you together, boo. So
That
you don't
poured out
sound
the
ignorant.
Texas school system.
That's all right. They told us to break it down in syllables, honey. Y'all just saying one word, honey. We break it down.
You done made it
Compote.
French, Gary.
Wow.
It's
All
called
right, I got your wake-up calls. Y'all give it up for Gary with the T. I got your wake-up calls. Get at me, 8669 Ricky, 8669 RICKEY, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 13 minutes after the hour, y'all. Hey, a lot of primaries went down on yesterday. Make sure that if you got elections coming up, some people got elections on the 6th and the 9th or whatever. Make sure that you get out and vote because on these local elections, these district attorneys, especially mayoral elections, city council, county commissioner, school board, these local elections that have a direct effect on your life. And congratulations, everybody in St. Louis, everybody in Ferguson, got out and yeah.
Yeah, her name is Ella Jones, first black mayor of Ferguson.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to mayoral candidate, Mayor-elect Ellen Jones, and she will be the first black mayor of Ferguson. So that's what happens when you get out and vote. So make sure that y'all continue to register to vote. Everything is on the line. The United States Supreme Court is on the line. Everything is on the line. So make sure that you get out. And when I say Supreme Court, the president's pick the Supreme Court justices. So make sure that you go out and vote, not only in these local elections coming up, but the presidential election, and get registered to vote. Got your wake-up calls. Get at me, 8669 RICKEY. Call me now. Phone lines are wide open. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all. 22 minutes after the hour, y'all got your wake-up calls. 8669 Ricky. Here we go.
Wake up. It's time to get yourself together. Cause they woke you up this morning, slid you in your house shoes, so it would be better. Wake up. Encourage each other and be productive. The Rickey Smiley Morning Show, wanna know where you calling from, so come on and tell us and just wake up.
I like to wake up my mother, Ruby Matthews. The courthouse is now open to the public, so we gotta make sure she get up. Wake up.
This is Tobias from Houston, Texas, telling all my co-workers at Texas Outhouse Porter Can Company and all my IUC brothers and sisters around the world, wake up.
Say, wake up to my sons, Richard, and Henry, and all of that down for what? Wake up!
Young Sharonda from Detroit. Wake up. Connie calling from Birmingham. Shout out to my son, Donald Billups, who's a 2020 graduate from Huffman. Mom and Dad, we love you. Wake up.
It's a whole gang of cities tuned in, locked in. What's yours? Cause we gon' let them know. Kansas City, wake up. In Columbus, wake up. Cincinnati, wake up. Wake up. West Palm Beach, wake up. And Greenville, wake up. Come on, Jacksonville, wake up. Wake up.
All right, y'all. The wake-up calls being brought to you by
Being brought to you by Urban One. Remember, you cannot vote unless you are registered. If you need to find more information about how, when, and where to vote, please visit newsone.com/vote. Go vote!
There it is. I appreciate that, man. Church in 60 seconds with Pastor Fred. Up next, you don't want to miss it. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up and show your love for the one and only Pastor Fred.
Oh, God bless you this morning, saints and ain'ts. Hey, God bless you. It was always a pleasure to have those visitors with us this morning. And we want to pay special homage to our visitor this morning. Come on, put your hands together for Miss Cheney. She's with us.
Yes, Miss Cheney.
Miss Cheney's with us this morning. We are planning to have food on the grounds. Social distancing. And we had that Miss Cheney can cook some mean ribs.
Yes, you can.
We had that Miss Cheney can get down on some ribs. So we're asking that all the members, if you have any stimulus left, could you stop by Miss Cheney and drop off a little stimulus check so she can go get some ribs so we can have social distancing. Sit on the ground. Miss Cheney, we love you. We appreciate you for helping us to grow a little bit. Oh, yeah. That's what we pray. We pray, Lord, bless us for the nourishment and the growth. My God, my body's growing. The growth of these valleys. Thank you, Miss Cheney. Keep cooking them ribs. Thank you, Miss Cheney. Keep serving the people. Say on. Say on. Pass the ribs. You can follow me as the real Pastor Fred. Love you, Miss Cheney. Love you, Miss Cheney.
Chicken and waffle mix up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Oh man, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, kissing game. Y'all ain't on the ones and twos. Chicken and waffle mix going down, man. It is Wednesday. Week is going by fast. What up, John?
Oh man, yo, that was just the hump day mix, man. Of course, yo, make sure you hit me up on the Instagram at JAH Lion Zone.
JAH Lion Zone. Hey, appreciate it, baby boy.
Yeah, but my pleasure, Rickey.
Yes, sir, man. One of the best mixers in the country, man. John Lyon on the ones and twos. Black Tony, what's up?
Yo, what's up, cuz? Hey, Shawty. Hey, cuz, let me say this. Let me clear something up. First of all, Shawty, let me say this first of all, Shawty.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want nobody to think I'm down with all of this looting and all of that going on, Shawty. That, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to...
I feel you on that. I feel you. I talked to you about that.
But real talk though, Shawty, if you know somebody got 20 band, 25 band, really I want 25, but if you got 20, you know what I'm saying, I can work with you. I got something for you.
25 bands, like 20,000, like 20 racks?
Yeah, 20 racks, Shawty. I got something for you.
What you got?
Checkers.
Man, nobody finna pay no damn 20 rack for no checkers. You crazy. Like
the whole restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the restaurant?
Yeah, we do it. Well, we got one. We do it one of those, and we came up on one and all this, and all what's going on. Got the whole thing, shot the sign, the drive-through with both sides. Got both of the sign from both sides of the drive-through, little tree in the front, everything, shot.
Y'all done dug up a whole. So let me get this right. Y'all dug up a whole Checkers restaurant.
Yo, so got it right up. I got it right now, but 20 bands. How do you have? But
so how's somebody what's somebody gonna put a Checkers restaurant? How you gonna?
If you got a house or something that got like a pool in the back, ain't got no water in it, just drop it in there. It ain't that big, so. It ain't that big. How you put it on the back of your U-Haul truck?
Are you serious, Black Tony?
Yo, 20 band, boy, you can't beat that, boy. Hey, you got to drive.
Somebody gonna drop a Checkers in their backyard and open it up and have a drive-through going down their driveway. How y'all steal a whole Checkers?
Right.
Hey, how do you get it? Where did you get it from? How did you get it to where it's at now?
Sally, you asking too many questions right now, Sally. You trying to get in my business. I don't worry about it.
Where the checkers at? Where is that right? Where the checkers at right now?
We got on the back of the truck. We riding around the highway. We got on the back of the truck. Got a piece of a big old comforter blanket on top of it. So in case you want to do it.
All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. 4 minutes after the hour, y'all. This segment's being about mycomputercareer.edu. If you don't absolutely love what you do, go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today and become an information technology professional in as little as 4 months. That's mycomputercareer.edu. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning to you. It's Wednesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Justin Timberlake, y'all, they're saying, honey, that his career may be over with. Now, it's been reported that Justin Timberlake is facing the wrath of white Twitter. They're saying after he posted a tweet offering to bail out protesters who were arrested during the protests of the death of George Floyd. Now, they're saying he put down, please join me in supporting the Minneapolis protesters by donating to the WM Freedom Fund. Now, they're saying that the Freedom Fund, y'all, is combating the harms of incarceration by paying bail for low-income individuals who cannot otherwise, afford to get out of jail. And people are upset. Now, they're saying that Justin Timberlake, he has leaned heavily on the African-American influences in his music, and they're saying most people were pleased to see him offering support, both financial and otherwise, during the time of civil unrest. But several high-profile celebs have offered to help bail out as well, and they're saying, John Legend and Seth Rogen, Kalani, and, Janelle Monáe and so many other people, but they're saying some of his white supporters were appalled to see him supporting the protesters and took to Twitter to drag him. And, it was interesting, you know how this, we still, honey, ain't in no happy world. But now they're saying Justin Timberlake lives in a multi-million-dollar home in a gated community. They say, but wants your support to bail out, how do you pronounce that word? Antifa?
Yeah, Antifa, the left wing radical group.
Yeah, the people who your president was talking about, and they said some assorted hoodlums who have destroyed their own communities in the name of justice. So they're very upset with Justin, and some people saying that his music career may be over with, especially from his white followers or whatever. So
well, that's fine because black consumers spend a lot of money. So if he's going to spend his time and energy being an ally of ours, we will definitely still buy his music.
Yeah, well, that's sure nice of him after taking Janet Jackson bra off on the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
A lot of people saying that's his payback. He's paying back, giving reparations and helping.
Man, he apologized. He's trying to make good. That's all right, man. We gonna roll with you. We gonna roll.
What we gonna do, Rick?
Yeah, we gonna roll with you for a minute.
This time, honey. All right, moving on in other celebrity news, y'all. Amanda Seales, she quit the Real, honey. She said it's over. She had to leave out. Here's what Amanda had to say.
There is a luxury in not having to do just for bread. That is a full fact. Like, I have gratitude every morning. I wake up with gratitude every morning that I found myself I've created a life for myself where I don't have to do things just for money, where I can be like, y'all can keep that out of here. But I think a lot of that has also come from like my own confidence that like I'll find the bread in a manner that serves me.
Yep.
Right, in a manner that serves me.
Yes, baby.
Man, I absolutely love it. I think she's supposed to be coming on the show at some point, but I absolutely love her. I do.
Yes. She's really good. And then my final story, y'all, I don't know if y'all heard the show. I mean, this is a very sad story, honey. I didn't know these people could do this, y'all, but it's being reported, y'all, that Trina, honey, is the latest celebrity to be canceled by Twitter. Did y'all hear anything about that?
Yes, child.
Oh,
I didn't. What happened?
When they said that, honey, Trina is the latest celebrity to be canceled by Twitter after she slammed Atlanta protesters as animals and said that the current curfew should be moved forward to the stores owned by her friends, and they could be protected. Now, they're saying that Twitter was in disbelief as during her radio show with Trick Daddy, they said she ranted about how, the protests were inconveniencing her life and the lives of her loved ones. So,
yeah, it was really bad, Gary. Trick tried to reel her back in, but she basically called the protesters animals, that they need to be caged up and locked in a zoo. And with frustration that people have right now and the active protests going around worldwide, everyone's upset with Trina's response. They're very upset.
It's called being tone deaf.
Is that what it's called?
Oh, Lord.
And her friend
now
shot.
Kaya finna make another damn video. I can't
wait for it.
Kaya finna... Oh, Lord. Why did you give Kaya more ammunition, man? I watched that, and it was so hard to watch. Trina is like a sister and a personal friend.
Yes.
And now he made that, and then now Kaya finna make another doggone... I just wish she responded. She need to drag Kaya. She gonna have to respond. She did?
She did, Ricky. She responded when they put her up to do the verses, and they said to go against
So
Kaya.
the one she did with Trick Daddy?
Yes, and she went off, and she was saying that Kaya is not on her level, that she respects all the queens out there, but she does not respect Kaya, and that she will do this versus with Trick Daddy, someone who was on her level. She shut Kaya down.
They've been going back and forth for years. Yeah.
We just gotta pray. This is the time we need to pray, touch, and agree. And
just agree, don't touch.
Okay. Yeah. All right. The color today, honey, is one of my favorite colors. My color today is grape compote.
Can't say it, huh? Can't say it, huh?
Capote. The grape capote.
Being messy and everybody busy having these little light strokes on the morning show.
Purple is the low end child. That's y'all color.
He said copote. What is copote?
What the hell?
It's compote.
Compote.
Is that what it is?
It's compote. He made it fancy.
He said copote.
Because it's COMPOTE. That's
hooked on phonics.
You didn't say the M last time, Gary.
Y'all knew what I meant, damn it.
Hey, can I give a real quick shout out?
Yeah.
Hey, man, somebody was talking about even all of the stuff since you won top model, man, the way you've been encouraging women and helping models all over the country. Eva, we are so proud of you, and we thank you for everything that you do with models. So I posted one of your models on RS Comedy, but if you're driving, don't go on there.
I do it.
Let me see.
I felt it in my bones. I do it.
My models are gorgeous.
Oh, your models. Oh, I just posted one. All right, y'all, what's that coming up next, man? Listen, we're going to be talking to Dr. We're going to be...
Oh, my God.
We're going to be... Hey, man, Eva.
Oh, my God.
Y'all make sure if y'all want to join Eva's modeling agency... If y'all want to join Eva Modeling Agency, y'all just hit up Eva on her IG. Cause that's when you died and still had to do a photo shoot. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, man. We got the one and only on the show 14 minutes after the hour, y'all. We got Dr. I am so excited. He hasn't been on our show in a long time. Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. Good morning, Dr. Dyson.
My man, how are you doing this morning? So glad to be back on your show. It's been a minute since I've been hanging out with y'all.
Well, I watch you on TV every day. I just absolutely love you, and thank you for everything that you do. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to do.
Love what you do as well, my man.
Yes, sir, man. Let's get right into it. So tensions all across the country is not dying down, and it only seems to be getting worse. What are your takeaways from the protests that have continued for 5 days straight now?
Black people tired. We snapped. The same way that white cop leaned the weight of his body on the neck of George Floyd, we now feel the knee of white America on our necks, and we are tired of it. We are sick and tired of cops killing us. It's a broken tail light. It's a traffic stop. It's a supposed counterfeit check, small things, right? We don't even know if that's true. But small offenses or just breathing, just having the nerve to exist. And we get shot, we get killed, we get snuffed out, we get suffocated. And so people are tired of that. And they're rising up. They're taking to the streets. They're saying enough is enough. And white America has to listen. And people get upset and claim, well, why is it that people have to be so aggressive? Well, why is it that we keep dying no matter our peaceful protest? When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, that wasn't violent, but you acted like it was the Black Panthers
coming to
town.
Come on now.
So we ain't done nothing violent there, but now when we rise up to say we haven't had enough of that, you began to focus on the nature of our response and not the nature of the offense that caused us to respond this way. So I say we got to keep going, and white folks' eyes have to be open, just like Justin Timberlake. I mean, you got to open your eyes.
What you say,
I'm
Dr.
just saying,
Dyson?
sorry. I just made that little mistake there. But the point is that we are tired of people faking like they with us. Y'all better get with us.
All right, y'all, man. Hey, so coming up next, if you can hold on a second, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is going to be telling us what needs to happen to help fix American inequality. Up next, Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Of sociology at Georgetown University, and after writing the book you wrote, Tears We Cannot Stop, A Sermon to White America, you've studied this so extensively. So what are your thoughts on the president of our country threatening military force against the protesters? How detrimental is that?
It's extremely detrimental. It is the kind of flexing of a muscle, a kind of John Wayne approach to the presidency, not a calm and dispassionate investment in citizens, not an empathy with why we feel the way we feel, understanding, given the history of racial animus in this country, what we're up against, seeing our babies die, seeing cops beat black people, put them on the pavement and pummel their heads, to see Ahmaud Arbery running for his life and seeing white vigilantes assault him. So there's no question that the president of the United States of America is himself a major problem. He has no grace. He has no dignity. He's proud to be unmolested by enlightenment. He is predatory. He is a neo-fascist president, and he's not interested in building up and developing solidarity among citizens. And now, not to be empathetic to why black people are angry and outraged at death, and simply to challenge the reinforcement of the military against their vulnerable black bodies is utterly ridiculous. It makes as much sense as him, putting away those protesters in Washington, D.C., where I live a couple nights ago, to hold the Bible upside down and backwards. That's what he knows about God. That's what he knows about the Bible. And that's what he knows about us.
He said upside down and backwards. Wow, what an idiot. In your opinion, what needs to happen to help fix American inequality?
Well, first of all, we've got to get cops to stop shooting us. We got to have, oversight of the cops. There's been talk about defunding police departments and putting some of that money in places where it needs to go. For instance, cops shouldn't be sent to deal with mentally ill people. Why send a cop to deal with somebody who's got a manifestly mental problem? So we got to have other avenues of relief for people who suffer. Number two, we got to have community oversight. These communities must have the ability to say what police people do in their communities. Thirdly, the police ought to live in the very neighborhoods that they are policing. You got these white cops coming in from suburbia somewhere or from an outlying region, and then they come in, they don't see their uncle, their aunt, their cousin, their mama. They see an enemy. And then finally, look at NOBLE, National Organizations of Blacks in Law Enforcement. Those are black cops who understand our predicament because they're black themselves, but they got better ideas about how to fix this problem. If we do those kinds of things, I think we begin the process of answering this.
Oh, man. Now Washington, D.C. and 8 states had primary elections on yesterday with more elections we got more elections coming up in the next few weeks. Now, more than ever, how important is it for people to get out and vote?
Man, I'm so glad you raised that. It's so important. First of all, last night we got rid of Steve King, the racist congressman out of Iowa. That's what voting can do for you. What can Brown do for you? Yeah, it can put your white racist self out of office. And black people need to pay attention to voting. I know a lot of young white black people say, well, and ain't nothing going on, ain't no choice. There's a big difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Joe Biden represents a far more humane response to the social injustices we confront than a Donald Trump. Is he perfect? No. And as he says, I'm not running against the almighty, I'm running against the alternative. And right now, that is indeed Donald Trump. But it's not just the presidency. When you vote for the president, you're voting for who's going to get on that Supreme Court. That will affect your life far longer than whoever is in office. Whoever you appoint will have the ability to shape legal practice and social justice for our consideration years after they are gone. But not only that, down ballot is important. Who is the prosecutor determines whether or not they quickly arrest a cop who has done something heinous to black people or brown people. So who you vote for makes a big difference in the quality of your existence and how you live in American society. So please, 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 black folk, get out there and vote.
Oh, man. Hey, Dr. Dyson, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you come on the show a lot more because I love having you on the show. I'll never forget you used to come to the studio when we were in Dallas and Valley View Mall early in the morning and sit in that little bitty room, man, and just try to do good radio and try to get people elected and let people know what's going on when we were on the hip hop station. I really appreciate.
Well, I'm glad you remembered me, man. You done blown up like Nitro, and I'm out here trying to get man. I'm out here trying to get spark, man. How about
Dr.
Mondays
Dyson.
with Michael? Mondays with Michael. Let's do that.
I'm down with it. I'm down with it. Hey, Dr. Dyson, I sit up. I watch you on Morning Joe. I can't even do the morning show because I got Morning Joe on every morning. I'm watching on CNN. All of the things that you do with Rickey Smiley and Minister Farrakhan. I follow you. I'm on all your videos. I'm your low key stalker. So you're a mentor from all the way across the country, but I absolutely love you. And people need to pick up a copy of your book, Tears That We Cannot Stop. That's right, Tears We Cannot Stop, a sermon to white America. So how can they go and find this book?
Man, they can get it on Amazon, and if they out there in the streets and they come by a bookstore, you can grab it while you're there. So, I ain't saying looting it, but I'm saying if you got a copy, go on and read it.
Hey, love you, y'all. Y'all give it up one time. Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, 2 minutes before the top of the hour, y'all. We got the one and only attorney, Glennon Threet, on with us this morning. Glennon, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky, and good morning to your radio audience.
Hey, man, listen, a lot of stuff going on. A big election, a few big elections last night. Can you tell us about the election about Steve King in the state of Iowa and the big election in Ferguson on last night, and what does that mean?
Well, it means two things, Ricky. It means that elections have consequences, and it means that if we mobilize, keep our eyes on the goal, our eyes on the prize, as it were, that we can affect change. Steve King was an avowed racist, and his racist views were so blatantly set forth by him that even Mitch McConnell distanced himself from him, which takes a lot, as we know. So it's important that he lose in Iowa in order for them to protect that Republican seat, but also for them to show that at least there is a bridge too far when it comes to racist comments by a member of their party. Now, the Ella Jones election was really more significant to me because she is now the first female and the first African-American mayor of Ferguson. And everybody remembers Ferguson from 2014 because of what happened there. And shortly after that race in 2015, she was the first African-American elected to the city council. She ran for the mayor's race in office in 2017 and lost in a close race to Mr. Knowles, who was the two-term, I think, incumbent at the time. And then he was term limited in this election, and so she won that election last night. And so for people who believe that all politics is local, as Tip O'Neill once said, having an African-American woman as the mayor of Ferguson shows how far we can come when we keep our mind on politics and use the vote.
So Glennon, what do you think that means for the city of Ferguson?
I think it means that they're going to have somebody that's going to be more representative of the views of the majority of people in the community. And I think that to the extent that the mayor has the ability to establish executive policy in the city, that there'll be somebody there that has a voice to stop some of the blatant police brutality that occurred there that we all know about. But like you said, Ricky, once again, a lot of times people think that elections mean more than the presidency and the state and United States senators. They're the dog catcher and the county commissioners and the local people that really affect your lives in a much more direct way than the president can on some instances. The other thing that happened last night, Ricky, is that Joe Biden got 1,903 votes. So that means he only needs 88 delegates to capture the Democratic nomination.
Right. So Glennon, I'm moving around a little bit. Donald Trump pushing away protesters like Moses going through. Something wrong with the mic? Moses going through the Red Sea, pushing away protesters just where he can go and take a picture in front of a church that he don't attend with the Bible in his hand. What does that look like for him?
I think it looks really bad for him, and it was one of the few times that even some Republicans have come forth and said they disagree with what he did. Here's what happened, Ricky. He was ashamed that he had been portrayed in the press as shirking like a coward in a bunker underneath the White House because of peaceful protests in Lafayette Square Park, which, as you know, is right across the street from the White House. So in order to deal with that, Hope Hicks and his daughter and others in the administration thought that he needed to have a show of strength. Well, they forgot that they needed to try to clear Lafayette Square. So Bill Barr, the U.S. Attorney General, decided that the thing to do was to trample on the First Amendment rights of peaceful protesters, send unidentified federal officials out into the park to use a chemical agent and force to clear people from the park so that the president could walk across the street to a closed church without the church's knowledge or participation and hold an upside-down Bible in an attempt to give some sort of moral legitimacy to his campaign. And that, unfortunately, it didn't work. And it made him look really small. And you know, there are a lot of things that you can do for the sake of politics, but trying to use the Bible as a political tool, I think, is a bridge too far, even for many people who agree with the president's policies.
So what do you think white evangelicals have given up all of their Christian values to fall to the feet of Donald Trump? What do you think about that?
Well, they voted for a misogynist, a 3-time divorced man who paid a porn star to cheat on his wife. And so, you know, they swallowed a lot of bile in order to get policies that they wanted enacted. But you've gotten to a point where if you're an evangelical, if the Bible means anything to you, to see the president use an upside-down Bible as a political prop should be too far, even for people that have supported him so far.
Wow. All right, Glennon, appreciate this, man. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
You can reach me on Twitter at @G3, and if you follow me, I'll follow you back. Let's keep the conversation going, and everybody have a safe day.
Hey, man, have a blessed day, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, one time for the one and only attorney, Glennon, graduate.
Yes, sir.
Graduate of the one and only Carver High School from Collegeville, Birmingham, member of Kappa Alpha Psi. I don't know what college, Glennon. Glennon, what school you went to?
I'm a Princeton graduate, Ricky, political science.
Damn, you went to Glennon. Hold on, stop the music. One second, hold on, stop.
He just said it like it wasn't nothing.
Tell him
Put
three.
whatever, Ricky,
Stop.
political science. Yes!
Stop.
Yes,
Glennon.
Glennon.
Glennon, you went to Princeton?
I graduated from Princeton, Ricky.
Oh, not just went.
Oh, Glennon, don't say it like Glennon. Glennon, don't say it. You don't have to say it.
Really? Like, you don't know this?
And the Howard University School of Law.
You better tell him.
Howard University School of Law, and you taught law at Miles College for a while.
I did.
And where do you teach law school now?
At Cumberland Law School in Birmingham.
Yeah.
He the man.
Yeah.
You
Glennon thinks
decorated.
the
All
man.
right.
You know this that moment when you start reevaluating your life, like somebody done accomplished all this stuff, and you start looking at yourself like you couldn't do better in school, when you could be more like that. You know what, man, Glennon? Hey, man, Glennon, go on about your little stinking day, Glennon. You have a nice day, Mr. Princeton graduate, sir. Oh, whatever.
I love you too, Ricky.
Yeah, and then he gonna play us the wrong fret, the wrong 1911. Go on, Glennon. Go on. Yeah. Hey, Eva, get your husband, frat brother, off the phone.
We love you, Glennon.
Y'all have a great day, man.
You too.
We will continue to talk to our radio audience.
Right there. That's the best part of that song.
Boy, that song gonna be in your head
all day.
Then it goes a little something like this.
No matter how successful you are, you will always. We clown everybody on this show. We don't care who it is. Hell, you better have thick skin when you come on this show. Eva, tell Mike don't get mad at him. I got to play this one for you, Eva. Boy! Now, Brad, Listen to the drum cadence on this song right here, though. Let me tell you something. Her damn eyes can be cocked like a pistol, but if her eyes brown, I can do it. I can do it. I don't care about your eyes being cocked. I don't care if you're talking to me, but you're looking at my homeboy, long as they brown. Pretty brown cocked eyes. I don't care. What? Why? Man, when you can just look in her eyes and just hold her hand and you just waiting to get to a red light just where you can look at her. Because you can't look at her. She's so beautiful. You can't even look at her while you driving because you'll run off the road. That's how fine she is. See, it's some women out there that got their eyes just sitting in their head just right. The eyes don't come out too far. The eyes don't go back too far. They just sit in there like Jesus just set them in there just right. Like Jesus, when Jesus made your eyes, he took his time and set your eyes, and then he went to his Crayola caddy. When he decided he was going to color your eyes, and Jesus got all the browns.
Come on.
He said, I'm going to give you this one.
This one.
I don't care if you knock-kneeded. I don't care if you got a humpback and a muffin top. I don't care if your stretch marks spell your name. I don't care if your stomach look like some balled up homework. Let me tell you something. I don't care if you got a keloid on your ear and people think it's a leather hearing aid. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Wait a minute, though.
Oh,
a humpback and a muffin top
and a keloid earlobe
and a muffin top.
A leather ear.
You can have some beautiful eyes and ain't got no top teeth. Because if you ain't got no top teeth, that means you fry good ass fish anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Say what, Rob?
With no top teeth, you can't say words like the or these.
Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up, Rock T. That ain't what we're discussing right now.
I know where that was coming from.
You can't say no TH words.
You can say fish. Fish.
Fish. Oh. Fish.
A leather hearing aid.
That's right, man. Keloids on your ear, and people say, is that a leather hearing aid? Let me tell you something. As long as you got them light brown eyes and them things sitting off in that head just right, we can make it, girl.
Oh, man.
Because if you ain't got no top teeth, that means you fry some good-ass fish on Fridays. Let me tell you something. Man. We'll never play that song again, because that song right there. And Brad, did you hear the drum cadence?
I did.
Did you hear the drummer?
I did.
Oh, that's a whole nother kind of beat right there, man. Condition got one of the best drummers ever. Oh, man. Hey, Kiki.
Oh, Lord.
What, boy?
Kiki. Pretty brown eyes, Kiki.
Thank you, because that's me. I heard you talking about me. Ricky got me blushing. Oh, my God.
Kiki, it's so good to have you this morning.
You had me last night.
Oh, wait a minute.
Tell it, Kiki.
All right, baby.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kiki.
I want to hold you. I'm not the need boy.
Sing it, Kiki.
Act stupid if you want to. Act stupid if you want to.
Kiki, I ain't know you can sing. I ain't know you know nothing about mint condition. I thought the only thing you listen to is Meg Thee Stallion, Kiki.
I do, because I'm a savage. Hey, I get bougie as it. I do stupid, nasty. Rap, zombie, classy. I'm a savage.
Kiki, you got 3 official baby mama cars, right?
Oh my God! Yes, I do.
Okay, which ones you? And now these are the 3 official baby mama cars. And what's the first one, Kiki?
Okay, number 3. The first baby mama car is a Mercedes C300. Oh, you don't found it, you somebody with a little munchie,
Special K, what is it about that car Kiki just named? Special K, what is
that's when your baby dad, he got, like she said, he got a little change, and he really kind of care about you, like, even though y'all can't be together because he don't want to be with you like that, but he take good care. You never have to wait on your child support. It always come on time. That's right.
We can't be together. We can't be together. I just don't want to break up no home, but I'll break up apartment. Number 2.
What's number 2?
A lot of baby mamas, they drive their old Honda Civic from the 90s. It used to be somebody's uncle car. It can't be your car, because you got pregnant.
Tell us about that car, Special K.
Yeah, if you're driving a Honda Civic from the 90s, he really hates the fact that he got you pregnant, and it was kind of an accident. It was really a one-night stand, and he had no intention of being with you ever, and your child support is always late.
No. Hell no.
Hey, Kiki, what's the number 1 baby mama car?
The number 1 baby mama car of all time is none other than the Nissan Altima.
That's right, the Nissan Altima.
Yeah.
Special K, break that down.
Okay, yeah, if he gets you a Nissan Altima, he works at FedEx. He got a little, he don't have a lot of money, but he got enough to help you with that note. And he put you on his car insurance. He has you on his insurance when he puts you in a Nissan Altima. But you're responsible for the note.
Who like you know? Who like you know?
Hey, Kiki.
I'm saying, my sister drives a Nissan Altima.
Hey, Kiki.
What?
So how much gas it take to fill up a Nissan Altima?
$6.75.
Damn, where you getting gas?
Okay.
And where you getting gas?
Don't worry about it. Shut your nose. All you need to do is just take my hand and I lead the way.
Come on, Kiki. Y'all give it up and show your love for Kiki. All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 8:25 minutes after the hour. Got your front page, Eva. Good morning.
Good morning, Ricky, and happy Wash Up Wednesday. I'm your girl, Eva Marcille, here with your top news stories. Peaceful protests over the death of George Floyd continued late into the night in cities across the U.S. with less destruction and violence than the recent days. Also, the state of Minnesota has opened a civil rights investigation of the Minneapolis Police Department over the death of George Floyd. Very good. City data shows that during the past 5 years, Minneapolis police used force against black people at a rate at least 7 times that of whites. Also, George W. Bush spoke out for the first time yesterday, Ricky. He was showing his support for the peaceful protesters, and Joe Biden delivered a speech where he compared Trump to Southern racists of the 1960s.
Oh, absolutely. He is absolutely no different from Birmingham former Mayor Bull Connor when he sicked those dogs and those hose pipes on those teenagers that was marching in Kelly Ingram Park back in the 60s, right across the street from 16th Street Baptist Church, where 4 little girls, where the Ku Klux Klan set a bomb and killed 4 little girls. And it's terrible for you to send your police officers and out there to attack those peaceful protesters just where you can go and take a damn picture at a church that you don't attend, holding up a Bible that you don't read, apparently, and had it upside down with those ugly shoes from the early 90s on. I don't know what kind of shoes Donald Trump had on, but those are ugly shoes, those outdated, really out of style.
Absolutely.
This would be hilarious if it wasn't so serious.
I know,
Yeah,
and you know what?
Awful.
A clown.
You know, we're wondering, what can we do? What can we do? The protesters are out there. What we can do is remember that this is still an election year. 7 states and the District of Columbia held their primaries yesterday, and now Joe Biden is closer to formally getting the Democratic presidential nomination, which is what we want. 6 years after the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri congratulates Ella Jones, who became the first African American and the first woman elected mayor in Ferguson. So remember, your vote is your voice, and Ella Jones is proof of that. We have to vote, you guys. Now, finally, there's some good news on the coronavirus pandemic. Dr. Anthony Fauci says that the U.S. should have 100 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine by the end of the year. Now, until then, stay safe, keep social distancing, and wash your hands. All right, that was a quick look at your headline news. For more news, log on to the Rickey Smiley Morningshow.com. Rod T, what's happening in sports, my brother?
LeBron James, he calling out all the ridiculous people that's using these chaotic riots with the situation with George Floyd for content to help grow their social media followers. Specifically, rioters and looters wreaking havoc on stores and shops in Los Angeles, and 2 women showed up to take pictures with the damage they faked using a power tool on a storefront, and then hopped into their car and drove off. And this is all was caught on video. Like, are you gonna help, or are you just gonna try to take this to use your to get followers or whatever for your social media? So LeBron is pretty much calling all those type people out. Despite nearly a full week of chaos and looting and vandalism in the city of LA, one thing has remained untouched, and that is the large street art mural dedications to remembering Kobe Bryant and, of course, his daughter Gigi Bryant as well. So all of the murals that's in LA, none of those has been touched, none of those has been vandalized or graffiti or nothing written on. So I guess that's some sort of a positive take on that. That's all I got right there in sports, man. The Brat got the hot spot coming up right now.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot,
And that's hot. It's the hot spot. It's the BR18.
All right, there it is, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 29 minutes after the hour. What up, Brat?
What up, Ricky? What up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is the hot spot. It's your girl, Brat Tat Tat. Let's get off into this thing. All right. Shut up, Eva. All right, y'all. In response to current events, Warner Brothers is now offering free streaming for rentals for Just Mercy. Y'all remember that movie came out a while ago,
Yes.
but it is finally being streamed, and it's for free. So you know, black people, we gonna see it today. So it's from director Destin Daniel Cretton. It stars Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx, and it was originally released in theaters January 10th, and it tells the story of a civil rights attorney who works to defend a man wrongfully convicted of murder. So in our climate with things going on right now, I think this would be a great thing to watch. You can catch it on Apple TV, Fandango, Play, and all them other ones. YouTube. You can watch movies on YouTube?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you got a smart TV.
No, I didn't know that. Whole movies, I didn't know that.
Go over somebody's house who don't have cable. You'll see.
No, I got a bunch of 4K TVs,
You ain't
but
got
I didn't
cable
know
on that big
YouTube
back
was a
TV.
movie thing. A whole movie? That's what's up. What'd you say?
I said, if you don't have cable and you got a big back TV, you're not gonna be able to see it.
That must be what you got.
Oh,
that must be what you got, as you know. Anyway, moving on, Special K. Spike Lee releases a powerful new short film amid the George Floyd protests, y'all. On Sunday, he released a film called Three Brothers during a special report on CNN. It's a minute and a half long, and it begins by asking the question, will history stop repeating itself? And then goes on to piece together footage of the arrest of Floyd and Gardner and their subsequent deaths. So this should be great. Now, this last story is a little bit tripped out to me, and I feel bad for the girl, but we kind of partial to the other side of the family. So anyway, it's in the news that Janet Jackson's niece was stabbed 7 times in a vicious hate crime. Her name is Yasmin Jackson, and they saying she the niece to Michael and Janet, but she the granddaughter of Joe. And it, you know, we partial to the whole Jacksons, and when people try to come in from the outside, we like, prove who you is. You ain't no. But I feel bad that she was stabbed 7 times. She's the daughter of John Vonnie Jackson, Joe's daughter, with his longtime girlfriend Cheryl Terrell, and she shared pictures of the aftermath and all that. So it's like, okay, girl, we hope you get better, girl. But we don't want to like glorify it and talk about it, but how do y'all feel about that? People trying to kind of infiltrate and come in from the outside. Gary, you talk about it all the time with the step brother that you ain't know about this just trying to come around. They kind of feel like this with this person. I feel bad for what happened to her, but it's like, girl, why you got to say Janet and Michael name?
Yeah, because that's their niece, and
that ain't Catherine's child. So to it's
Yeah, how do you separate that? Like that's not your mama's. Like, do you know what? Nobody has to be forced to take on an outside sibling.
Love child.
Love child. You don't have to. If you nice enough and say, hey, that's my dad's, or according to how you feel about your dad or whatever, but that's not. I don't think it's written nowhere that you have to. Maybe you should if they're a good person. You missing out on a good, loving, wonderful person. You give them a chance or whatever, because you got to remember that it's not just your dad's child. They got their cheating mother inside of them.
Ricky.
That's what the child didn't say something. It don't matter to them. Child have to say something. You need to talk to your mama, honey, about all these situations.
The child ain't got no control over who her parents were.
But still, you ain't just finna get in. Like, it don't matter. You're not finna just slide in. Like, people did that when I became famous. I know they did that to you, Ricky, and you, Eva. Oh, I'm your mama cousin, your niece from another mother and a sister friend, goddaughter.
I did. I had a whole sister crop up once I became famous, and I still haven't met her. A whole
girl, we got to work on this, though. We got to pray like Gary say. Anyway, y'all, to get caught up on those stories and more, you can go to RickySmileyMorningShow.com. I'm your girl, Brett Tat Tat. Coming up is our boy, Chef Boudreaux, with that quarantine cuisine and the praise mix down. What I say, quarantine cuisine, maybe because I'm hangry. Praise down mixed with the White Stone as well, y'all. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up. Quarantine cooking with Chef Kurt Boudreaux.
What's happening?
Boy, I know you got some good today, man.
Hey, man. Today I got for y'all a little shrimp Creole served over some long grain rice.
Okay.
Together. Yeah, man. A little something.
So, Kurt, what's the difference between shrimp Creole and shrimp etouffee?
Yes.
Well, the etouffee is more of a roux base, and it's not Cajun and Creole is a little bit different. The Creole is a little bit more of a tomato base.
Oh, okay, got it.
Instead of a roux.
Now, how you do that? Put that together.
Oh man, we melt a little butter, throw a little Holy Trinity in there with a little onion, bell pepper, and celery, a little bay leaf, and you let that cook down, man. Then I added some fire roasted tomatoes with some tomato sauce. Let that cook through in a little seafood stock. Make a slurry with 2 tablespoons of flour and some water. And then you throw that on in there and let it thicken up a little bit. And once it does that, you go ahead and throw your shrimp in there and let it cook until your shrimp is pink. And then you just serve it over a little rice, man, and there you have it.
Man, well, that sounds good there, man. That don't sound like a hard recipe at all.
Sounds delicious.
Nah, man, and you can season it how you want, with your ponies or slappy mama or whatever you Creole or Cajun seasoning, but I would go ahead on with Creole if you're doing Creole cooking. So, but what I know, I'm just a chef.
All right, Kurt, let everybody know how they can find the video.
Oh man, you can find this video at Rickey Smiley Official. You can follow me on Facebook at Boudreaux's Catering and on Instagram, Chef_Boudreaux1.
Man, Chef Kurt Boudreaux, better known as the Black Tony of cooking. Y'all give it up.
Chef.
Appreciate you, Kurt.
All right, man.